Hello, survivors, and welcome to Will You Survive?
The podcast.
My name is Eric. I am your host today. I'm the host because I won last episode because I'm just really, really good at... What did we do last time?
It wasn't a handshake deal.
It was a what?
It wasn't a
that's
handshake
right.
deal.
That's right. I'm very
You don't remember
good.
what we did last time? That was the best episode
It was
ever.
the news.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm really good at diplomacy. It's kind of why I'm here. But I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Alex, the offended,
That's me.
and TJ, the loser.
But I didn't lose. I just didn't win. I thought you were gonna go. I thought you were gonna be like Alex, the offended, and TJ, the offender.
No,
Caution.
No,
Caution.
no,
Caution,
TJ's
caution. No,
the...
wait, no, I can't. No.
Yeah.
Say
yep,
Drake.
Yep.
Whoa. That's not what we're cautioning. Also, don't do that.
Caution. Alex has a fly rink.
A what?
I don't know.
You told us what that was,
I thought you would have got that.
and I forgot.
I didn't
Host,
tell you what it
he's
was.
already
Wait,
derailing
is
you.
that a bald thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's right. I do remember that.
Host, he's already derailing you.
I'm here for it. You want to know why? Because this is one of those episodes where I feel like let's just chat. So the movie that we watched, audience, hello. What we do here, we watch a movie, usually something with some sort of survival aspect to it, and then we discuss said survival aspects and whether or not we believe that we would even survive said situation. We normally stick to like survival or like zombies in particular, but I decided to derail us a little bit and go more supernatural, paranormal, demonic, which is The Conjuring, which in my opinion is one of the greatest horror movies of all time. And I think it poses a different sort of survival, not so much, I mean, there is physical survival in this, but spiritual and paranormal. So I kind of just want to open it up. Anybody have any particular thoughts about this movie?
You want me to read the storyline since this was 2013?
Yeah.
Sure.
We always do. Why are we deviating? I feel like that should have
Well,
been in the thing.
we actually haven't for quite a while, but
Really? No, we have.
I guess for
Usually
every
I
movie
have
we
whenever
have.
I
We just haven't
host.
done it. We just haven't done a movie.
Yeah.
No, we haven't.
Oh, did you read The Dawn of the Dead?
No.
Technically,
Oh, see?
yeah, our last episode
'Cause we were
was
live.
a movie. Like we watched one.
Yeah,
I watched two actually.
yeah, but that was like a whole separate episode. Anyways, what are your thoughts, Alex?
Well, in 1971, Carolyn and Roger Perron moved their family into a dilapidated Rhode Island farmhouse, and soon strange things started happening around it with escalating nightmarish terror. In desperation, Carolyn contacts the noted paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren, to examine the house. What the Warrens discover is a whole area steeped in a satanic haunting that is now targeting the Perron family wherever they go. To stop this evil, the Warrens will have to call upon their skills and supernatural strength to defeat this spectral menace at its source that threatens to destroy everyone involved.
TJ knows the exact moment that I noticed Necro hanging from the tree. He saw the exact moment I saw that.
That's all
I still, I still didn't see it. That's comedy.
There was a distinct look that hit my face, and I clocked TJ noticing it.
I was waiting
right
for
at that
somebody
moment.
to say something.
That's a beautiful idea.
turns out.
So basically, Nekrik is the demon of this movie.
Apparently,
Beth Nekrik.
I think that might be its name, Nekrik.
So I guess I kind of want to start. I believe I know where. Well, I'm 100% certain I know where Alex and I stand on this. But TJ, do you believe? Let's start with: do you believe in ghosts?
I believe that it could be possible. I feel no. So like, what I think is like it's a little different than ghosts, but it's also like the same. I think like little pieces of yourself when you're alive break off, like pieces of your soul or something, and like that's the ghosts. Like I think like it's not just dead. It's not dead people per se. I think it's like
Like stuck in a time loop kind of thing. Like the spirit is.
when something traumatizing happens, I feel like a piece of you breaks off, and that's what haunts you.
Interesting.
So
Okay,
that's
do you
this is that
believe-
real life type, like, and then we kind of just,
Do you believe in demons and
I
angels?
have been baptized.
Does not answer my question.
didn't need to answer your question. Just it's possible. It's possible.
I mean, I know people who have been baptized who don't believe anything because they were baptized as a baby.
Well, I was baptized as a fully sentient being, in the
Well,
communal hot
when was
tub
that?
in the middle of church.
Do
You're
babies
still not fucking fully sentient.
That's crazy.
Aren't you only like 3/5 sentient or something like that?
You have 3/5 of a fucking normal forehead.
Oh my god, that was hardcore right
Sorry,
there.
you might
You're
want.
fucking-
You might have to cut that one.
Your young Sheldon ass shirt over there, Alex.
Why is it coming after you? What did you do?
Actually, the
I don't know,
Death Star is
but
not from Star Trek. It's from Star Wars.
I actually got that. That was funny. I had to look down at my shirt. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, you can't make fun of me. I'm wearing my silly
According
goose
to
sweater.
Einstein's
and
I mean-
that's the thing I
law of
own.
relativity, your hairline is forever expanding
Forever expanding backwards.
until it collapses in on itself.
Judging by Newton's law, your size means you have your own gravitational pull.
Yeah, I pull more bitches than you.
Sure you do.
Both of you are in very committed relationships and cannot fool around. So
Well,
That
I
you
mean,
know of.
I can. I just would have devastating results.
this is a lovely,
My wife
interesting
in the
episode.
background is-
Well, it actually makes perfect sense when you think about it. We're talking about demonic activity here.
Maddie, he
Debauchery.
called you a demon.
What did I do?
Over there getting drunk, fucking playing.
And I have.
What are
three
you
animals.
playing? She's getting drunk playing fucking Roblox. That's who she is.
Wait a minute. Are you following the Constitution?
What's
Yeah, I got a drink.
Like,
judge requests?
OJ
evidence.
doesn't count.
Judge requests
It's
evidence.
the alcoholic Arizona, my guy.
Oh, ew! Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe you.
TikTok mine is apple juice.
I mean, it's the funny, sleepy Arizona.
Mine is almond juice.
Why are we not talking
That's a good
about...
one. That's a
So,
good one.
The Conjuring, I think...
So,
for
what's
my-
your favorite
my-
alcohol?
Speaking of demons, I've been living with my inner demons of my alcoholism for years.
Oh no, you don't. We're gonna go there. This is gonna turn into an AA meeting real quick.
Yeah, I don't prefer holy water. I prefer that demon water myself.
So
You
this-
almost had that one. You almost had that one. I don't prefer holy water. I prefer spirits.
I literally thought of that after I said
good one.
what I said.
Good one, good one. You know, anytime I think of holy water now, I think of the ending to The Nun, where she kills the demon by keeping Jesus's blood in her mouth and then spitting it all over the demon when she comes out of the water.
Which that
So
is
Josh said something good.
they introduced the nun in the second Conjuring movie.
Relationships are like hockey. Just because the other team has a goalie doesn't mean I can't score.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, they did introduce the nun in the second Conjuring. I think it was that demon, and then the nun was like how that demon came about.
Actually, if you want to go deep into it, in the video that Ed and Lorraine Warren are reviewing, the old farmer, that's the one that goes full circle when you finish the nun. That's the guy who gets possessed at the end.
At the end of the nun.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
I'm
they
honestly-
tied the whole universe together.
So here's the thing. This is based on real people. This is based on a true story.
The demon's
so,
name is Valak. I was trying to think of it.
yeah, the second
That's
one.
the nun.
This one was Bathsheba, and it was a witch who sold her or like committed her soul to Satan and killed herself. And warning, it kind of gruesome stuff, but it's an old movie. I think we're all desensitized as a society at this point. But where do we stand on how true we think this story is? Because obviously Hollywood's going to exaggerate it, but how much of it do you think really happened?
I think it's highly embellished because Miss Warren herself was a Lorraine Warren. She was like a consult for this movie, so I figure that she didn't want too much of. She didn't want it to seem like it was ass. Like, the real family, because this is based on a true story, said that they were not helpful at all, and they kind of just made it worse. So,
Yeah, they ended up kicking him out of the house because they couldn't do anything for them.
yeah, there was
it
never
was-
exorcism at the.
It was like a big deal that Ed, and this part was, I think, consistent in this story in the movie to what was said in real life. Was Ed was insistent on pulling Lorraine out of that house. He didn't want her there. He also kept telling the Perron family that they had to seek help through the faith, that they couldn't do anything to help them. And so when you go back in time, you read what was happening contextually. They say that the Warrens were kicked out. It sounds pretty violent in that regard, but the tensions were high, man. The family was scared. The dad was desperate. He was angry that there was nothing they could do. They're telling him what he needed to do, but there was going to be no immediate results. That was just like, look, this is not going to be something that you're going to get rid of tomorrow. You're in a bind and you need to seek real help. And so but there's a lot of cases in the upper Northeast that the Warrens consulted on, several that never, well, one of them, I think they finally made a movie out of it. I don't remember the name of it.
They actually consulted on the
Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
But the one that was the most devastating to me was a book. I read it in high school for free reading period. I remember my teacher thought that I was reading like comic book level stuff, and then she saw what it was. She was like, "Are you okay?" I think what she asked me was, "Are things okay at home?" I was reading The Devil in Connecticut, which is one of the stories that the Warrens consulted on. It was a story about a child named David Glatzel, 9 years old.
Now, is that? I think that's what the third Conjuring is based off.
That's
of.
what I was wondering. I don't know if
made
it's.
me do it.
I don't know if. Yeah. Arnie Johnson.
Yeah.
Then I want to see that one.
I want to watch that. I was considering watching that one tonight, but I was like, I don't know if I want to watch it when we end this at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, should we just go through all the Conjurings, dude? We just pick out the good ones.
Super down. Really quick, I want to take a second. A guy in our chat said, "I'm not a mom, child, or cop, so in this situation of the first Conjuring movie, I think I'd be fine." And you know what? I like that logic.
He'd be right.
That is the logic we often take. Also, Mellow Jello, thank you for the, I forget what that's called. What is that?
Donuts.
Well, the donuts, and then
And the heart me.
A heart me. I was going to say
Josh,
heart,
thank you for the
heart
donuts
me,
and the heart me in my chat.
what he said. Wow. Josh.
I really appreciate it.
Josh.
He wants me to crop the picture that I have on screen so you can have it as a
Mellow Jello,
screensaver.
thank you.
I think that's hilarious. Look, I can make him
That's
walk
great.
around too.
You can make Nekrick walk around.
Yeah.
And Nekrick really is the demon of the show.
Sorry,
Go on, take me on life and put him back.
Did
Bumbo
Nekrick
clock.
become Jamaican?
Yeah, he started speaking in Jamaican patois. Oh my god.
Just making me crazy, man.
Okay.
That just sounds like
unfortunately,
Hermes from Futurama.
sorry, podcast audience and listeners. You'll just have to tune in for the live to see stuff like that happening.
Nonsensical behavior.
Nonsensical behavior. So this movie, obviously highly exaggerated. I assumed the exorcism was definitely not something that really happened.
Not that it was recorded.
Do we believe they were being haunted by a demon?
I do. And they made that point in the movie that was fairly good, was the demon possessed the mother who unalived her child. And that was the reason why she did it. And it's funny because TJ's explanation of what he thinks ghost haunting is, this would have fit the description pretty well, because it was people who were traumatized in their death. And that trauma carried that energy along. Remember, the law of physics is clear on that. Mm-hmm. Energy does not get destroyed. Energy transforms.
Yeah.
So to say that the human spirit or human soul or whatever you want to call it, that keeps the human alive, that separates us from any non-sentient, what do they call it? Sentient meat. Anything that makes us different like that. Soul, spirit, karma, whatever you'd want to call it. That's what transforms at our death. And it becomes something else. It does not go away. There's no way in the laws of nature, energy can't just go. Now, you could say it travels to another dimension. I don't know if I believe that. It's possible because
I mean, I'm sure there's another
interdimensional
plane
travel.
of existence.
Yeah,
in
interdimensional
some
travel after the third dimension, interdimensional travel becomes a possibility.
Randalizer, what is up? We are recording a
Mellow
podcast
Jello.
episode at the moment.
Thanks for subscribing.
Mellow Jello, thank you for subscribing to us. What the heck? Thank you.
But the way I think of like different planes of existence is kind of like, 1D, 2D, 3D, 4D. So like it kind of folds in on itself and then that creates another little pocket. So I think of it like kind of like how Ant-Man has the quantum realm type shit. You shrink down small enough, you get to another place. Like Horton Hears a Who type beat.
Man, I just can't wait till they make 4D printers,
4D printers. You print a fucking universe. Who are you, Rick?
You print a ghost.
He's like, I made a whole universe to power my car.
The scientist in there. You wouldn't understand.
It's called a teeny verse. They go in a little bit deeper. I created this mini verse.
That's literally the whole fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe right there.
It's getting to that point, yeah.
Yeah, getting?
Well, yeah, it wasn't all multiversal shit,
Oh my god! After Endgame, it got too far.
Yeah, no, because
I think so.
It's multiverse
It was too much.
saga. But like, hear me out though. Robert
I'm
Downey
listening.
Jr. is coming back as Doctor Doom. I think that's kind of funny.
No, that makes me not want to. I'm not
I
gonna
feel
lie.
like-
That makes me not want to watch
I feel
it.
like that'll have like emotional impact though.
No, I think it has a way more emotional impact if he's gone.
Well,
Because
yeah,
this
he
is
is
just
gone.
like
Iron
okay.
Man is gone.
No, but
But-
no, come on. Nobody watched it for Iron Man. We watched it for Robert Downey Jr., who was Iron Man.
Mhm.
So that's like, I don't know. It's kind of like when Logic was like, "This is my last album. I'm retiring. I'm done." And then a year later, he was like, "Here's my new album," and I'm like, "All right, man." Like I'm glad, but
True, but you
That wasn't your
gotta
last- you knew.
be into it in order to, like, because like in
It's
the
too
Loki
much for
show, you go through like learning about variants and shit like that. Because like Loki's dead, but he's
Yeah.
not. Because there are other versions of him, Because like the one
So
that
do we
that
think-
happened in like Infinity War, that Loki, our main Loki, gone forever.
the one who got beat up by Hulk in Stark Towers during the first Avengers gone.
But is he?
I mean, it could have happened in other
Because
multiverses too.
it's the same Loki, but it just kind of branches. We're getting into shit that's not involving the Conjuring.
And this is why it lost me, because it sucks when you could just say, well, anything can happen because it just happens in a different universe.
It's based
And I'm like,
on
well,
fucking
then,
comic books, bro.
then nothing fucking happens.
Nobody ever stays dead in a comic book, unless
Which
it's like
is
Walking Dead,
Stupid.
and they don't even stay dead. They get up.
You're speaking nothing but facts here. Okay, back to The Conjuring.
So I think probably the only things that we can go into survival about are some of the basics. In a situation where you're being scared, you're getting afraid, of course, the obvious answer is you need to stay grounded, you need to stay calm the best way you can. They did the smart thing. The family all huddled together downstairs and slept in the living room. That's a good temporary solution. I don't think that's going to work forever. Of course, everybody needs time alone, and this thing's going to just pick on you when you're by yourself.
At least for comfort,
You
though.
need to stay
But at
grounded
least-
to the earth. Smoke on the
At
peace
least,
pipe.
Actually, it's funny that you say grounded to the earth, because I think
What about
that's
the peace
that's,
pipe?
That's actually not the peace pipe part. I actually think smoking the peace pipe can actually open you up to some activity, if you will. Many think that one of the things the family did not do that I don't know how different people across different faiths will interpret this, but setting boundaries, asserting dominance, asserting authority, claiming your authority over the location. Many different religions all say the same thing in that regard, that if you're being haunted by a demonic presence, that's a must. You must proclaim authority over it, and what is your source? What is your authority? And
So if we talk about like bringing the Bible into it, which is in this case what you'd be doing, essentially you're given the power from Jesus, from God, to handle these types of things. So bolstering what you were saying.
yeah, if you bring the Bible into it, Jesus said, "I've given you the power to heal the sick, raise the dead, and cast out demons." So the problem is that's the difficulty of faith. You have to completely trust, right? We've heard teachers say, hang your body on that belief and be willing to die for it.
So it's an interesting thing because it's that's one of those things where now we're getting into a kind of religious thing where in somebody's faith walk, it's easy to get to the point where you feel that, but you're not 100% there.
Right.
Where you're like, I believe in God.
Right.
I understand that all the fundamentals of being a Christian, I'm there. But in the face of an actual demon that is haunting you, are you able to stand firm and say, my God gives me authority over you?
That's right.
Because to stand face to face to a demon and say that I think people fantasize it in their mind. Because like even I was at moments in this movie where I'm like, I'm watching a Hollywood film and I'm jumping and startled and spooked and realizing that like an actual demon in your presence is going to bring so much raw fear, and to be able to combat that, it just really adds that perspective that I'm scared of a movie, yet alone an actual evil entity that wants me to fall. So it's a little bit easier to fantasize it and say like, yeah, I could definitely do that. I could just stand up to it. But to actually do that, I think is a lot different.
The scarier thing about it is many different literary sources. There's an author by the name of Jonathan Cahn. There's old-timey people like C.S. Lewis. They all write the same kind of interpretation that demons don't do this often. This isn't a common thing. It's happened all throughout history, and there's also like some really awesome, I hate to use that word awesome, but it's fantastic and very intriguing literature on where these spirits who quote unquote possess people come from.
Well, I would say awesome in more like the literal meaning of the word. Like,
it's
awe.
It is
Something of awe.
wild to read these things and see that the history of demonic possession this is just one of many different interpretations of what a demon, they're calling it a demon, is. One of my favorites that goes all the way back, if you've ever read the Epic of Gilgamesh, it is said to be, the hero is said to be somebody who survived the flood that would have taken place in Noah's day. Mm-hmm. But what this, it doesn't have too much to do with that story other than if you remember the Nephilim that were around at that time, they were half man, half demon. That was said because the watchers of men saw the daughters of men and decided that it would be good to mate with them. And these monsters came out and they were half human, half demon.
Now, do we think that was witches?
Not necessarily. Well, what I think that was, because they came out, they said they were giants, and they had an insatiable appetite to the point where they were clearing the earth of food, and they started eating man.
I think that's just
then-
Samoans.
Then it was said.
That's why the floods didn't really take them out. They're still around.
Then it was said that God wiped out the earth, and the Nephilim, when they died, their spirits, unlike demons who are not in this plane, they watch it, but they're not here. The Nephilim are here. They are disembodied spirits that roam the earth. So if you think of ghosts, that's one tale that can answer that for you. There's many different versions of the same story in all different religions. Probably some of the more fascinating ones are of the Eastern, I wouldn't call them religion, but Eastern superstitions. The Japanese, the Chinese, they're not religious people. The atheism is astounding in Japan, but yet they're very superstitious.
See, I find it interesting that there's certain things like, let's take dragons, for instance, where obviously dragons don't exist. Dragons never existed. We've never found any evidence of dragons existing, except for the fact that several civilizations across the globe on many different continents all depict something of a dragon. China does.
Yep.
The Incans did. pretty much everybody
The Europeans
has some depiction of a dragon. Where the fuck did that come from?
I think
And this
it
was
just-
before everybody knew everybody. This was before satellites or global trade or anything like that. This
or
is
global talk in
or
any
global
way.
talk in any way. This was before Europe even knew the Americas existed, and they were depicting dragons in both continents. So it just makes you wonder.
Well, I see where you're going with that because this is the same kind of a story. The story of demons, the story of angels.
It's everywhere.
Every religion, every culture has one.
So it makes you, to me, that kind of bolsters the argument that this is real. If every culture with no communication amongst each other has some depiction of these beings, to me, that feels like that must be real to some degree.
The way I see it is before everybody knew everybody, nobody knew what other people were calling said thing, you know? And think about all the different depictions of like dragons and shit. None of them
Right.
are like exactly the same. They're all like
Exactly.
slightly different.
No,
So
but it makes you wonder, right?
it does kind of, you know, like they're all very similar, but they do have very distinct like differences. So I'm you know, just like
But it's a
once we
flying
did
scaly
all,
reptile.
you know, like unify. Well, you know, once we did all unify, we kind of just like collected all of it into the blanket term of like this is
Dragon.
basically what it is. Same with like
Yeah.
demons. Like everybody, like if there's gonna be some sort of like religion, you know, you be bad, bad thing, scary thing. What is it? That's
If I
what a demon
may,
is, you know.
I would say one of the simplest ones for me. This still falls under the Abrahamic Accords, the Abrahamic religions, is Islam. In Islam, one of their demons is a jinn.
Yeah.
They call it a jinn. And that's what it's very commonly known as. And you read it though, you read what they say, and it's really just a demon. We call it something different. Now, everybody unanimously, I think it's unanimous in every religion across the globe. The identity of the thing is paramount to overcoming it. You have to identify it in order to gain authority over it. You speak the name, and
Which goes to what the Bible says, that names have meaning.
all religions, names have meaning, and words have power.
Yeah,
and
you see that in the movie where at the end when he speaks the demon's name, it kind of just locks her there, you know, like, so what the
Well,
fuck?
because
did
she
you say,
realized,
you know?
oh shit.
Yeah, I'm cooked.
I'm caught.
The same thing happened in the second Conjuring where she says Valak and the demon was like, fuck. Like, you weren't supposed to know that.
And that's their whole thing is staying hidden. That was what I was getting at. C.S. Lewis in Screwtape Letters talks about that very thing, staying hidden. The attitude amongst the senior demon to the lesser demon is, you fool, we've never had it so good. Why are you trying to bring us out into the light? Then you have this book by Jonathan Cahn, who he says virtually the same thing in a different way. Return of the Gods. He says that the demons no longer proclaim themselves to be gods because in this modern society, it's pointless. Nobody wants to worship a god. There's no worship of God. So what they do instead is they call themselves God makers. I can make you a god. And because we are very self-centered in this society and we want to see ourselves, we want to elevate ourselves, and I want to be like the true God. And if I call myself, you know, the demon speaking, if I call myself a God maker and I show you the ways of becoming top of your game, and just look at how true it is when you see the TikTok and Instagram and everybody getting celebrity status for very little, really. And it's very interesting to see that I do believe I am a Christian and I do believe in the Christian faith, but I also don't believe that that's necessary to push on to anybody else. And in this movie, I think you said it very well. Both of you said it very well. It's very sensationalized. It's very Hollywoodized. It's fun. I enjoy these movies. I've always been a horror freak. I enjoy it very much. I thought it was well done. I thought it was, you know, there's some silly parts where she's like vomiting blood and stuff like that, but they didn't overdo it, believe it or not. Like
No, they didn't. It's very tasteful considering the future Conjuring movies.
they get
which
reckless.
gets
It's like-
stupid.
This film was more built on like ambiance and maybe there's something there. And
Yes.
I will admit there's a lot of mysterious air yeeting going on. Like they just get yoinked like pulled randomly. That's a very, Hollywood ass thing, like paranormal
I gotta
activity
say,
thing. But
I liked it, and I liked it even more because when I watched it originally, I had no idea how they did it. I thought it looked great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw how they did it behind the scenes. They show how they pulled the girl and did everything. And it was really quite clever how they did it. They used two different girls, and the original girl gets pulled off screen. The cameraman runs into the room, and it's the second girl being pulled diagonally across the room that way. It was very clever. Very cleverly done. It wasn't CGI.
You know
it
who
was
the
a
director
real
was?
person. No,
It was James Wan.
James Wan.
Oh, really?
Paranormal Activity.
Guy's a fucking legend, man.
dude. I mean,
I was thinking about it with the cinematography. What made me think about the director, it was the first part of the movie where I thought, like, that's not true. But it was a part of the movie where I really paid attention to the camera angle and the idea, which was the top-down camera where Lorraine goes to grab her Bible
Mm-hmm, and goes
from
upside down.
when she runs out the house, and it's upside down, and then it pans up and watches her leave
and
out,
right
and then it
side
does
up,
the
and
same
now
when she
she's
runs
going
back.
right side
And
up.
I remember thinking about that, and I was like, oh, that's I'm sure what that was somebody was like, let's try this, and James Wan was like, that looks fucking cool. We're gonna do it when she walks out, and he was like, fuck it, we're gonna do it when she walks in too, like, because it's a cool angle. And then I also thought about it when it was showing the cameraman's point of view when Brad was holding the camera down in the basement.
Very
Yeah.
suffocating feeling, because like you
Yeah.
you couldn't see shit
It's like an Outlast.
other than
Yep.
what was lit up, and then also you couldn't
like-
hear anything other than like what was in front of his microphone. So when he
Yeah, it's
when
like
he moved
Outlast.
the microphone like away and he's like, hey, you good, like you could barely hear him, so you're just kind of deafened and like focal
Which adds
point.
to the time that really solidifies like the time frame when this is supposed to take place. I enjoyed that this was made in 2013, but they were accurate to the time period, at least as much as I know. I don't know, they could have been inaccurate about some stuff, but
so there's a couple of things regarding, I would say, regarding psychological trauma, psychological survival. In a situation like this, it can be brought on by many different things. If you're engaging in the recreational medicines, the kind that allow you to hallucinate, be wary. You can start tapping into that dimension. I do believe so. But even if it's not, even if it's I think the proper term is metaphysical. It's not supernatural, but you're seeing things in the real world that exist in the real world that are not what you think they are. They're not spirits. They're not a demon. It's not talking to you. But your brain and what your brain witnesses is real to you. What is, it's like the Matrix, right? What is real?
mm-hmm.
If your brain sees it, smells it, feels it, tastes it, is it real?
It's like telling a schizophrenic person it's not real, but they're like, I'm seeing and hearing this.
It's just in your head. Well, why is that any less real, right? That was, wasn't that Harry Potter? Is this all in my head? Of course
Dumbledore.
it's in your head. Why does that mean it's not real? It's
Well,
so wild.
It's one of those existential things where if you really think about it, you are quite literally a piece of muscle in a skull, in basically an armor.
You're a piece of meat.
You're a meat sack.
You're a piece of meat controlling a meat mech suit.
Well, there's
It's a meat mech suit.
there's a funny
on
story.
a rock that's floating through the cosmos, that's only alive because it's circling this burning star,
There's a funny
Made
story
of-
about
and
that.
you're barreling through space.
Random
They
space
say
dust.
aliens trying to describe humans, and they basically come out to sentient meat, thinking meat.
That's pretty much what we are.
Flesh mech.
That's exactly what we are, a flesh mech. So it's interesting you guys come up to the same exact statement. So of course we said already, strength in numbers. If you can avoid provoking the thing, maybe avoid provoking it.
So here's my thing. I do agree, but this is where I have like that. I pray to God that if I ever am forced into a situation like this, that I am prepared for it or able to handle it. But this is one of those
Eric, if
situations
you
where
get
multiple
possessed, it's taking
times,
over immediately. I don't think you have the
multiple
willpower.
times throughout the movie, I'm thinking like it's the initial fear. And then the thought of like, don't fucking give into it. Just fucking stand up to it. And I don't know how much of it is foolish and how much of it is actually.
Well, see, that's where that's where it's important. Okay, so apologies to anybody who practices a different faith. I'm not trying to push my religion or my faith onto you, but
Well, this movie regards
This
Catholicism
movie
or Christianity.
it's
and
the Christian
demonology.
faith, and the necessity is understanding the Word of God, and as we know, the words. The promises of God, all of those promises are meant for these battles. So if a demon comes at you, number one, the first thing, what you're saying, can be summed up in God will never give me more than I can handle without providing me a way of escape. He's given me tough shoes for the trip, and he's provided me the strength for the day. If the demon is going to accuse, that's what they are. They're accusers of the brethren. That's what the devil is. He's an accuser. He's going to accuse you of all of your faults. You need to remember Zechariah, where the high priest stood in front, Joshua the high priest stood in front of God, and the devil accused him, saying, look at his clothes, they're dirty. And God basically said, shut up, strip him, put clean robes on him. Now he's clean. So that goes into the New Testament of Peter, when all the manner of creepy crawly things dropped before him, and Jesus said, eat. And he said, I've never let anything unclean touch my lips. He said, don't call unclean that which the Lord has cleaned. So that all is a circular reference to say, when you're being accused, the answer is don't call unclean that which the Lord has cleaned.
And this episode is brought to you by
washed
the
and
Holy
cleansed.
Bible. Get yours
Bible.
today on TikTok Shop, $19.99.
I don't think they provide that.
That is a very Christian core belief, which is it's
Also,
one
I
that's
thought it was
hard
Catholic
to.
in this.
It is.
It is
What-
Catholic.
Yeah,
but
what flavor
Catholic
Jesus
and-
lever is this?
Catholic and Christianity. Really, the difference is traditions or not.
Catholics keep Jesus on the cross. They keep him in the manger and on the cross.
Christianity
There's a
or
lot of different-
Protestantism does not.
He is risen.
There's a lot of different flavors.
But that's kind of a core belief of Christianity, which is I think one of the hurdles you go through, which is and I think it's a constant hurdle that you go through, where one of the devil's favorite tricks is to make you feel like, whoa, you couldn't possibly be forgiven for that. And even when you know that you are, he still throws it in your face constantly. And it takes a lot to just be like, no. So, for example, this is becoming like a whole religious episode, but whatever.
That's
why
why
not?
I'm trying to break it up with random Jamaican
No,
bits.
too bad. Learn some religion.
I don't want to learn any religion. I've fucking...
There was
You were
a dark-
baptized. Shut up.
There was
Yeah,
a dark period
okay,
for me
baptized
where
against-
shut the fuck up or you're gonna lose some points here. I'm getting deep.
Like, I'm getting deep is crazy. Okay.
There was a dark point in my life a couple years back where I would find myself on the patio smoking the devil's lettuce, and I would find myself getting into these really low points where I would start like slouching and like sinking into my chair, and I would just get real in my head over stupid shit. And it took me about like 2 months to realize what was happening. And for me, what has helped is becoming ridiculously logical about it. Which essentially happens where I'll be sitting on the patio, I'll be smoking, I had a great day, and all of a sudden I start getting real sad and all in my head. And what has helped me recently has just becoming overly logical and thinking like, what are you sad about? Name one thing you're sad about. And I can't come up with an answer. I'm like, then I'm being fucking stupid. That's so dumb to be feeling that. And for me,
But I'm glad you brought that
that
up.
over logicalness just makes it all go away. And it's like, that's not even me. That feels like some presence trying to put something upon me. And that's not how I'm even feeling today. I had a great fucking day. Why would I be all sad?
I'm glad you brought that up, because what I will say is when you're engaging in extracurricular behavior, be aware that's most likely the time that you can be affected. Now, it could also not be anything other than the physical effects of the substance.
Exactly. See, the only reason I know it's not is all the other times that I haven't felt that.
Right.
And so this was this weird period of my life where that just started to happen a lot. And it just took me analyzing it to realize that I was under something. Something was constantly coming at me during those moments.
Now, I will say something they did not fall victim to in this movie virtually at all was being trapped on an island. There was no moments of like, I'm isolated. They didn't fight each other as a family and argue over what was going on. The dad didn't do the stereotypical thing and fight with his family because, oh, I just put up all of this money. We're going to make this work, which all of those things seem to make sense sense in the context of those other movies, like Amityville Horror, right? They bought that home. They're in it. You bought it.
Well, that's kind of what he
What do you
said.
do?
What he kind of said the same thing where Ed asked him, "Why don't you sell the place?" Or like, "Well, have you thought about just moving?" And he's like, "All my money is tied up
Yep.
in this place. I bought it from the bank. I have no idea the history of this place.
Yep.
Like we
Which is,
put
like,
renovations
very
into it now.
horror
Like
movie.
we can't leave."
It is very horror movie.
Babe, I know we're getting haunted, but this house was so goddamn cheap. Where are we
But
gonna find this
another-
again?
This is another situation where I'm like, a little communication amongst the family, I think, would have come to this conclusion a lot sooner, which the movie kind of expedites it. But there was a lot of moments where someone's like, "Oh, I don't know, I must have just seen that," or "Oh, something must have just, I don't know, grabbed my foot. I don't know what it was. It must have been nothing." Those kinds of thought process absolutely kill me. I mean, this is like, we watched a movie recently where a wife told a husband something and he didn't believe her, and I'm like, if my wife came to me and was like, "I'm being haunted, we're gone, bye, I'm 100% believing you."
Was it The Haunting on Hill House? What did?
No, there was. We might not have even covered it on this.
Oh.
But there was a movie where basically the wife was like, something's happening, and the husband was like, no, it's probably just this or that. No, if my wife is that certain that she's being haunted, I'm not gonna risk it.
I mean,
Well, I'll tell you
at
that. That's
least
something
they
that we talked about.
should talk to each other, you know.
No, exactly.
They got the shit done.
They talk
like,
to
lots
each other
of
here.
movies, they just don't. They just like, "Oh, I seen something freaky. Let me not mention this for like half of the movie," and then all of a sudden
like
mention it.
like the Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you this. This is kind of funny. Corinne's going to get this. She's going to hear this later. Is the other house. Well, the house, right? The house we stayed at. It was not until we moved out that she was like, "Oh, there were times that freaky stuff happened there." I was like, "When?" And she told me. I was like, "Oh my God, I wish you would have fucking told me that." Like, she was like, "Well, I mean, it didn't bother me." I'm like, "I don't care."
Do you remember what I told you about that house
Not particularly.
when we were at Jackson?
Not particularly. What
So
did you tell me?
it was after we'd viewed the house,
Yeah.
where we went there and we walked around, and this was the first time that I saw the house. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little salty because my room was a little bit like a dungeon. It was no windows, not even a solid door. There was solid doors, but it was like a hallway with two solid doors on either side of that, and then my door was like one of those slotted doors. So I wasn't particularly fond about that situation, but that honestly was not the problem for me. After we viewed that house that night, I had really bad nightmares.
Oh, wow.
Really, really bad. I told you about this. I remember we walked out on the street at Jackson. I think you were having a smoke. And I told you, and I was like, I want to be honest, that place gave me a weird vibe. I didn't like it. And it gave me nightmares that night that I don't have nightmares. So that it was very vivid for me. Nothing particularly odd happened at the house for me. There was no like haunting moments or anything like that. And I never felt particularly scared. But I do remember after viewing that place, it gave me a bad vibe. And you know what I think it is? It's exactly what Grandma said. We drove whatever that was out, because I don't think we really experienced anything while we were there. But was it you who, when we left, you said like,
was
this
when we
place
left.
feels weird now?
When we left. But I'll tell you the truth too, Jackson, when it was empty and you and I went that very last time, I can't explain it, but I could not get out of there fast enough. I did not like the feeling of the empty apartment. It was like, there was a lot to do with it. I was a little nostalgic. My baby girl was born there. That was the first place that when we were all together for the first time, so there's like a lot of nostalgia that I thought, you know, and I'm not going to deny I'll run away from emotions just as fast as I would run away from scary shit. So that it's realistic, but I really did feel uncomfortable in that apartment when we walked out of it that very last time. Right. I was like, that was the last load of stuff. Everything was in my car and we hauled it off to Bonita. But I will say too, I felt the exact same thing. The very last load picking up, it was stuff that was in the shed. I went out, I picked up the stuff in the shed, I carried it up, and then I went through the house and looked for anything that we had left behind. And I did not like the feeling I had walking through that empty house. And I thought maybe it's just because it's empty. But, you know, once again, The Conjuring, right? One thing that the Bible says is when you empty the house, what was there before, 7 worst will come.
So what I'm hearing is ghosts and demons. They really don't fuck with Mexicans. As soon as you moved in there, everything was fine, and then you moved out. They're like, "Oh, time to go back in."
It's the food.
It's the.
Don't
I
do
can't
it.
say it.
Don't do it. Don't.
I was gonna say.
I don't know what they would be scared of. It's not like we're gonna fucking rob them or anything.
America's about to
If
be
anything,
real haunted soon.
If anything, we're just gonna give them bad drugs or something.
Oh my
They're all
God,
gonna
that
be
was
gone. They're about
nuts.
to be
You just went crazy.
haunted in this bed. No,
That
empty
was
places
insane.
give me a weird vibe too. Like it's like a heaviness of like
It
the
is.
silence is heavy, and it feels like
But
you just
I
wanna,
like.
But you have
Yeah,
to admit,
you know?
your empty place, if you're moving out after you've lived there, it's different, no? Is that just me? Like, I
it's
get
definitely
it.
different.
Well,
I think
so
you're
here's the
right
thing.
about walking into an empty home. You're walking into an empty house, touring it, right? And it's like, ugh, there's no life in here, is whatever. But when you're leaving your house for the last time, it's like, there's something different.
So
I don't know. Maybe I'll feel different about this place because I think this is the first place that I don't know.
First place you've had a window.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Shouldn't have gave him that
But
privilege.
less so that, more so like this is the first place where I feel like I'm a sentient adult. Like I've been a sentient human, but this is the first place where I now feel like I have a projection for my life, and I feel like a competent adult. I have a steady job, stuff like that makes you feel like you have some worth. So I think maybe it'll feel different with this place, but I don't have that feeling where like I love touring empty homes. Like I would if I was just off one day for work for no reason, I would highly consider just going around to open houses and just looking at the places because I think it's cool to kind of like imagine what could be in this place. But the leaving thing, I also don't really get. Like I said, maybe it'd be different for this place, but
so this goes back to like my thoughts on like what ghosts are. You know, pieces break off, you end up haunting yourself. So what if when you find a place you want to call home, right? You know, it's yours, it's your area. What if your inner self, soul, whatever you want to fucking call it, kind of like emanates, like around. That pushes everything out, and that's why
I think that's
you had such a like a weird feeling leaving. Because all of that energy is like gone, So like,
I think that's kind of what we were saying. Where when we lived there, it didn't seem like anything was happening. But the second we left, which is something that I had experience with, the difference between my grandparents' house and going back to my mom's house when I would be going back and forth as a kid, that I would always say, I just said it was love. That at my grandparents' house, there was this constant love and accepting in the air. And it was not the same when I would go back to Texas. And for a while, it made me think that I hated Texas. And then I realized I actually love Texas. It wasn't Texas. Texas had nothing to do with it. But it was the house.
It was Texas.
It was the house,
really
but
like the
it
smell
wasn't
of
necessarily it wasn't necessarily the
Nobody
house.
loves Texas.
It was it was what was inside the house that made the difference. My grandparents' house was always very warm and lively. It always had pastor on the TV, stuff like that. I would rarely ever feel scared in that house. The only time I'd ever feel scared was the downstairs bathroom, which used to have Big Daddy long legs, and that was too much for me. But other than that, so I don't know. I do think the people who occupy the house make a difference in what the house feels like. And
I will tell you, I'm glad that you never had a bad experience in that house. That tells me a lot because
I know you guys as kids have some
My
crazy
childhood,
stories about
man.
that house.
fuck, that house was terrifying. There was all kinds of shit. And then moving around, I went and stayed with my aunt, and one of the craziest things was I don't know, you remember the movie Beetlejuice, right?
Yeah.
When it came out, they had these dolls, these Beetlejuice dolls. It was a pull string, and when you would pull the string, the head would spin, and he would say sandworms at the end of it. And we had this fucking doll in a toy chest. This was my cousin's doll, and this motherfucker would go off in the chest all by himself.
That's
And
so creepy.
It was so fucking scary. And so my aunt ended up helping us out because we were fucking running out of his bedroom and sleeping in her bed. And so she got rid of the doll. She gave it to my cousin, much older cousin. Right, he was a grown ass adult by the time when we were little kids, and she gave it to him. He was like, "Oh yeah, I love this thing. This thing's cool." And then he got rid of it. I was like, "So there was
there is something
fucking
up
wrong
with
with
it.
that fucker." I was like, I couldn't tell you if I was dreaming or awake, but I swear I saw that little fucker walking around on his own, and it was scary, man.
I think we're kind of over time. So for TJ's sake, what I think I want to leave this episode off on was there was a story that I read about a guy, and he said his roommate, she was reading The Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
And she said she couldn't finish it. She got about halfway through. It was too much for her. And she quite literally threw it in the river when she was walking by because she was like, this book is too evil. I can't finish it. And so he had a diabolical idea. And he went and bought a copy of The Exorcist.
What a dick.
Ran it under the kitchen sink for a few seconds.
What a dick.
And then put it on her nightstand for her to find when she woke up.
That's
No.
And he
That's
said,
mean.
he said the scream. That's diabolical, but oh my God, that's funny.
I would have kept it going. I would. She like burns it,
Wow.
throws it in the trash. You freaking have another copy. You see
Yeah,
it a
but
little bit.
that's when you end up getting burned down with the house because she just loses her mind and goes fucking crazy.
No, see what you so
The prank isn't worth it.
That's how you get a woman, right? So before you even move in with her, you gotta convince her that her place is fucking haunted as shit, right? Just so you know.
So she has to move in with you.
You know, if you sense she's having doubts, you know, if you're not already about to move in, you know. But you gotta,
Baby,
you,
this isn't.
You gotta.
This
convince,
isn't my fault. This is your fault.
You gotta
Is
convince
that how
her.
Maddie
that-
got you to move in?
You gotta convince her that she's haunted, right? And then as soon as you show up, hauntings stop. And if y'all ever like, you know, take a little break or whatever, break up, whatever, haunting back on.
Anytime you get into a fight, you're like, I'll just leave you here with your demons.
And boom, she'll associate safety with you.
Instant win. Instant win. You know,
Manipulation.
that's... I'm learning so much about dog training. That sounds exactly like that.
Oh my God, Eric, I didn't send it to you, but it was this video of this girl, and she's like, I'm never going out with a dog trainer again.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he's like, go on, sit. And then she sits down
go
at
on
the
and sit
table,
down.
and he, good girl. Then she's like, nope, not happening.
He had the clicker and everything. I think my cousin said that to me, and she was like, "Is this you?"
Oh my God, that's so fucking
I was
bad.
gonna send it to you.
That's hilarious.
It was really good, dude. The guy looked like Michael Reeves.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Is a YouTuber,
Yeah.
but it was the same like personality and everything too.
That's funny.
It was very, very good.
So, as everybody can tell, that it's not scary watching. We're going over these movies with us. Any scary movie that you're not comfortable with, just come hang out with us while we talk about it.
Boo!
That's about as bad
You
as it
may
gets.
be
Gotcha.
influenced
I made one
to
person crash their
convert to
car.
Christianity.
But I do have some recommendations of literature if you guys like to read and you want to be scared.
The Bible, no.
I mean, there's some scary shit in the
There
Bible.
is some
Won't lie.
fucking horrifying shit.
There's some terrifying shit in
You
there.
ever seen a real angel like depiction? Like they drew it out.
I
dude?
would
Be not
say-
afraid.
Be
What the
not
fuck
afraid.
do you mean?
You're
Be
like
not afraid.
30,000
Why do you
eyes
think
and a
that's
bunch
the
of
first
rings.
thing he said?
I like. They already know. They
Hey,
show up.
don't be scared.
No, why do you
What
have
the
3
fuck?
different faces? One of them being a lion.
He fell down on the on his face as if dead. Don't be afraid.
Where are your
What he
legs?
really
Why do you have
what the angels should
75
have
wings?
done? What the angels should have done was been like, "Don't turn around. Don't turn around. Don't turn.
Don't
wait. This is gonna be a lot."
Okay, I'm gonna make it bad right now.
You feel like
Don't turn around. Don't look at me. Don't make it ugly.
What? Don't turn around. Don't turn around. You just hear metal rings shifting together and little from the eyeballs, dude.
That's from Ezekiel. That's the scariest one, I think.
Be not afraid.
So, well, what do we have? What do we have here?
Well, do you think you could handle this situation?
No,
I don't know.
I would leave my wife.
So he's
no,
the
no,
negative.
she's like-
I
she-
absolutely. Yes, I would survive.
As soon I would survive because I would be on a flight to Honolulu, Hawaii. I would, yeah, nah. I'm a straight up like Lilo and Stitch this shit. I'm gonna go make a friend with a fish, feed him a sandwich every day.
Gonna be on a flight.
Live a simple
Homie's
life.
gonna be on a flight at 3:07 and is gonna go down.
Oh, damn. 3:07 a.m. He's going to wonder why he has nobody else on the flight. And they're like, sir, there's nobody else on this flight. Would you like us to upgrade you to first class? He's like, oh, look at this treatment. Boom, down in the ocean.
You know what would actually happen? It would look like a full flight, and then he'd wake up from a nap at 3:07 and it'd be completely empty.
Empty.
You
Nobody
know
in
what'd be
it.
crazy is if black people
Conjuring
actually
4.
got possessed. Never seen it.
As
Doesn't
The
happen.
Blackening, bro.
they always die before.
The Blackening, bro.
Blackening was
Got
is
possessed?
fake.
There was no possession in the blackening.
No, it was.
Oh no! Well, the reason they never get possessed is because they never make it that far in the movie.
It's true.
So
That's crazy.
that's
wait a
not
minute.
even
Wait a
being
minute.
ra-
Wait a
That's
minute.
just true.
Wait a minute.
Was all the ghosts scatter because they're afraid of your people.
I'm trying to
Everybody comes
remember. You
running
know
for the
what?
corn
I'm gonna
man.
have to go back
Don't
and
even.
watch. I'm gonna have to go. Okay, Josh, that's funny. It's actually the African Americaning.
Oh damn! He got my own joke against me. Oh shit! That's a good one.
That was good.
That's
that was
the
funny.
African Americaning to
To
you.
you.
That's a
You gotta
good
come
one,
out with
Josh.
The Mexican.
So wait, we have to be in contrast. So right, one of us has to be in the negative.
Yeah. So he doesn't think he would survive. You think he would absolutely survive.
Yeah.
I kind of agree.
Actually, no. You know what? I'd be the one who would die
Why? How would you die?
I would.
because I would stand toe to toe.
See, okay, so that's the thing where like part of me is like I've never been in this situation, so I can't really know. So part of me is like I think my initial reaction would be complete fear and being terrified, but I think I'm so stubborn of a person that I think I would, after the initial fear, be like, no, how dare you make me feel that way, and like get all puffed up and like square up. But I don't know how wise it is to square up to a demon.
Well, the one thing that I know the toughest challenge of my life that required the most faith is my favorite point in my life. And I know why, because that was the moment that I was walking with God. But the toughest period of my life, I remember turning to my friend. He asked me, how you doing? I said, do you know what it's like? You ever see a kid at a restaurant and his parents are trying to take that little tiny plate with like a couple of appetizers away and they want to give him his meal? And he's like screaming and crying about it. It's like, dude, you're going to get something so much better right now. He's like, oh yeah. I said, look, I know for a fact I'm going to come out of this on top. I'm saying this for the record. Everybody sees, everybody's going to know in the end days when we're standing before the throne, everyone's going to see this. So I'm just admitting it now. Doesn't mean I'm not going to cry like a little bitch the entire way through. And that's my honest opinion of something like this. I may be standing there afraid, all of the feelings that you should feel in those instances, but I really do think that I would stand square toe to toe. My big difference is I do not hunt these things out. I like this movie because they weren't hunting this shit out. I'm never going to be an Ed Warren. I'm not someone who goes looking for this kind of shit.
Like in real life, they would go hunting for it. They would drive
Exactly.
around and wait till she got a feeling about any particular
An
house.
area.
Right?
Yep.
Then he would draw a picture of the house, so that'd give him a reason to like go up to the house, knock on the door. Hey, I drew a picture of your house. Do you like it? Oh, we can come in. Crazy. And then they would like probe.
Crazy.
That's
I think that's like
what
word
they
for
used
word
to
what
do.
they said.
And it's like, dog.
Crazy. No one's ever done that before.
And then he's just collecting fucking mythical artifacts of fucking ghosts past. Like, stop, dog.
I hate that shit. I understand his
All
logic.
in your house too.
I
You couldn't even get a
understand
U-Haul
his logic.
Fucking storage unit.
I understand his logic. Oh, I get it. I think that's even better. I don't think storage units were that common back then, but I still get your logic. I
Put in
get
the
your
shed
point.
in the backyard or something.
Do something.
Your daughter
put
almost got a chair
freaking-
yeeted through her forehead.
I mean, right? Put major locks on every door. When him and that reporter were in that basement, in that room, there should be deadbolts on that door that they put on there so nobody else can walk in accidentally.
Well, there was like two. There was like two deadbolts and a lock on the knob.
There wasn't a salt
for that door.
line. There wasn't a freaking cross next to the
All
door.
of that shit.
There was nothing.
Nothing.
They weren't even trying. Oh yeah, this will keep the demons in. A human-made lock.
Yeah.
And once a month, a priest comes
Like-
and blesses the room.
Like it isn't common knowledge ghosts can walk through walls. You think that a lock, a master lock from fucking Home Depot, you think that's gonna keep them in there?
That's what cracks me up. That's like a common ghost thing is that they're opening doors. I'm like, why?
Why?
They don't have to.
Why would they?
Which
But I guess maybe that might go to TJ's point where it's more like a fractured piece of your soul.
Well, it's
left
more for
behind,
you.
Where it's like the ghost is opening a door because
Yeah.
that's what it's always done when it
But-
gets there.
well, that's a good point. That's a good
My
point.
theory on how ghosts walk through walls is that they're not like intentionally walking through the walls. They're on another plane. Everything's like different
Yeah.
there.
TJ,
Like in
they're
Insidious.
opening
Exactly.
doors in their reality that they're in.
In their reality,
Yeah,
exactly.
like
in
Insidious.
ours, yeah,
And it's
basically,
where-
yeah, the
it's
ghost
where it
realm
blends
that they go
together.
to when she's like, yeah, that. Type
So check this out. If you guys have ever studied the different dimensions, we're in the third dimension, right? Length, width, height. Length, width, height.
shit. You're especially in the width
depth.
dimension.
Wow. Actually, I think that's you, brother.
Nah, bro, I got the length.
Well, then you got length and width.
6'3", baby.
Bitch, you wide on all sides.
My God, size 14 feet.
I'm very tall horizontally.
If I lay on my side, I can get on the roller coaster.
Oh, that was good. That was good right there. I enjoyed that one. But if you guys study the dimensions, you go into the fourth dimension, you could see through walls, you can see through the roof looking down.
Because it's not physical.
You're
stuff
not bound
anymore, right?
by time. You're outside of
I
time.
imagine it's like that one episode of SpongeBob where Squidward gets transported to the future, and then he ends up breaking it, and then he's just in the white space, and he's like, "I'm all
Okay.
alone."
I remember.
And it kind of like
I am very interested
I don't
in certain
understand
SpongeBob.
your dialect.
there's a SpongeBob reference for fucking
There's a
everything.
SpongeBob for everything.
Absolutely.
It's wild.
It's what I grew up
Absolutely.
on. It's my favorite cartoon I've ever watched in my life. Not the new shit though. If you watch a new SpongeBob and you're like, "This is genuinely great," lock yourself up. Padded room.
Go to the house that this movie was based on.
The other thing that Eric shows me is Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty
Like,
is top tier. The
They
newest
have
season was
fucking
It's the fan base that
episodes
sucks.
of almost everything. There, every topic, but and actually, I think
Where are my balls, Summer?
Rick and Morty is very alternate dimension, alternate
well,
universes.
yeah, we're
Yeah. Have you seen Interdimensional Cable?
No.
Oh my god.
Oh,
so
I've
funny.
I've done it. Oh, I've done one of the
Yeah,
bits from
you
it.
have.
Hi, my name is Ants in My Eyes Johnson. I have ants in my eyes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's from Interdimensional
We've
Cable.
got good prices. Well, I can't see. I hope they're good. And there's like people stealing from the store. He's like, I can't see. Also, I can't feel. And like, and he lights on fire because he touched a stove.
We made a joke or something, like we did a bit, and we were like, "That's something that would 100% be on Interdimensional Cable."
What
I
was
can't remember what it was, but anyways, yeah, Rick and Morty, funny, got a bunch of random shit.
Oh,
They had
I mean, like, there's so much in, like, I like shows like that. There's a lot of good shit. Like the fucking, they do shit that everybody thinks of, like random shit. Like, what would happen if you dropped a fucking lightsaber directly, like, straight
Oh,
down,
yeah.
vertical,
Yep.
perfectly vertical? Would it just keep going to the center there?
I haven't seen that, but that is something that I have always thought about.
that's also some shit that like Family Guy would explore.
It would.
And like it would just be a cutaway where Peter randomly drops a lightsaber through, and it goes through and slices some Chinese dude in half. Like,
I've definitely thought about that.
like a Family Guy episode.
But yeah, no.
Love it. So,
Yeah, I mean, we've talked for a while, some about this movie and some not about this movie. But I think
Cerelia,
we
thanks
came
for
to the.
gifts.
Thank you, Cerelia. Hello to you too. I think we have come to. Well, I've come to a decision. I think if I was forced into this situation, I do believe the. This isn't exactly in the Bible, but it's more of a principle of tough shoes for a tough trip, where God told, who did he tell that to? He gave them shoes of brass, right?
That was the song of Asher.
Yeah, brass shoes, and basically the meaning was that you're going to need something more than just some regular shoes for this trip, and God provided that. So he provides you the armor. He provides you. He'll never give you something you can't handle.
Techs, like any foam posits or nothing. No Yeezys.
Nope.
Just gave
Nah,
these
straight on the
Yeezys.
brass.
They're like, yeah, I know you're used to walking on like these, sandals, but you're gonna need more. Take
Armor.
Take these Yeezy boosts.
Armor.
What is
bitch.
this, my lord?
Take the best shoe wear that could ever be made. Crocs.
Thank you.
Take these
Thank
Shrek
you, my lord.
Crocs.
Crocs.
Thank you, my lord. What are these? I call them Crocs.
Christful
Put them
Crocs.
in sport mode.
When you are running from the Egyptians, thou must put them in sports mode.
They've got the little gibbets on them, like fucking the little crosses, like a bitten apple from fucking like Eve and shit.
Wow. Fuck.
It's like the Egyptian hieroglyphs
This
put on your
guy.
Crocs.
The stone tablets, for the
There's
you
10 of
know,
them.
you know.
Now I did.
Did
I send you
Moses
guys?
Moses had his Crocs in sports mode when he walked into the river, turned it to blood.
Did I send you guys that joke? There was a podcast. I don't know what podcast it was. But it was
Shrocs.
comedy. Three guys, one woman, and it said, "I finally figured out how it happened in the Garden of Eden." They were all sitting around there. Adam says, "Look at this. We have everything we want, everything we need. If we need something else, it appears for us. Anything that you want, if you dream of it, it appears. How is that?" And the woman says, "Yeah, not enough, is it?" And the
And the
woman
men
on the
started
panel
laughing.
is sitting there.
The men start
all the men are
laughing.
cracking up.
They're just like, "Ha."
"What? Not funny?" She goes, "I'm waiting for more."
That was kind of the whole
Kind of the point.
I just had a thought.
That was a good one. I liked that one.
You had a thought? Stop everything.
I'm cursed.
TJ thought.
with dumbass brain. So I was thinking like, what would be some funny shoes? And this is probably blasphemy, but
Yeezys.
Jesus Christ on the cross, except it's a Nike logo. Like his arms are stretched out over the Nike logo. Call them Christies.
Christies.
And
Christies.
ladies and gentlemen, a lightning bolt has just struck TJ.
But I have the power of Photoshop. I'm not gonna do it, but I have it. Just think about it. We can be billionaires.
Shall we wrap this up?
Yes, it has been
The Yahweh
quite the
Force.
episode. Thank you for joining us.
Would you like some socials?
I would like some socials. Hit them with the socials.
Ladies and gentlemen, please follow us on all of our socials on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram at Will You Survive the Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube. Just search Will You Survive the Podcast or The Boys at WYS. We also
for
accept
the
emails.
tiny
We'd love your
dimes and
critiques
the
or
GG
suggestions, any movies you have for us. Send those to The Boys at willyousurvivethepodcast.com. That's THEBOYS at willyousurvivethepodcast.com.
All right. It has been us, the boy. Oh, wait. I gotta. Oh, shit. Points. I've been keeping a really, really close tracker. Alex wins.
Okay. I mean,
Although, I sent you guys the movie that I wanted
arguably
to do
added
next.
A lot more, funny shit in, conversation, but
I mean, I'm not always looking for funny. Look, I'm a silly dude. I got my silly goose sweater on, but it's not always about all the sillies. Sometimes it's about the series, and that's short for serious.
Well, hear me out. I don't believe in Jesus.
I want to
and
do.
see, that's why you lost. See, if you had a little more faith.
Exactly.
Wow.
Y'all having your
It
little
was
fucking
you pulled the
Jesus
faith card.
conversation this whole goddamn episode.
So,
I'm just trying to
You
make people
coulda-
laugh.
You could
so
have.
they,
You could have.
You know what this episode is going to be?
You could
called?
have engaged with
It's
the
gonna be-
episode,
it's-
but instead you decided
Yep.
that you wanted to do what you
It's
wanted to do.
gonna be
instead of
called
doing what the
The
host wanted to
Conjuring.
do.
Oh, sure.
Will you survive the
It's
Conjuring? Except
all
it's
about
just
TJ.
them talking about Jesus for 20 fucking hours.
You could have asked questions. You could have engaged with the conversation.
I was
you could have brought
engaging.
up things about the movie, but instead you just wanted to go for the Jamaican patois, which I admired, and it was a move. But I'm just saying,
It was good the first two times.
judging by the standards that I set, which was just having a conversation.
You even threw the bombaclat.
Alex and I had more to discuss, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. My bad, dude. Go to
that's-
church sometime.
That's not always how the cookie crumbles. I think.
Well, it's how it crumbled today.
I
so
think
get the
your
fuck
cookie.
over it.
You know what?
What?
Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Thank you all for
I
listening
hope-
to the Way You Survive podcast. My name is TJ. That's bitch. And thank you for listening. Till next time, stay alive.
This guy's not even a host. He can't even
I
end
know.
it. Like,
But
who the fuck does
it's
this
in the
guy think he
Constitution. I
is?
am all powerful in the edit.
No.
No.
It is not actually. That's not in the Constitution. As the person who
No.
has the Constitution,
No.
that's not in it.
Roll the clip.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Very much appreciate it. Next time, Alex will be hosting because he won. And until then,
Extra biased.
stay alive.